Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the Brookfield Players, for joining me tonight. As you know, I happened, thanks to my assistant, Harry Glosser, I happened to hop in at the end of the last meeting, the last what I thought was going to be a rehearsal, and it descended into chaos. And I've never seen such bitterness and such sniping and such bitchy backbiting in any community group I've ever had the misfortune to work with. So I've come to a decision. I'm still more than happy to give you the funding, but there is a condition. I've spoken at length to Annabelle Smart about this, and she will fill you all in a minute. But the condition is that that you work in collaboration with the Brookfield Amdrams, your rival group, because I don't do rivalries in community. Community is about cohesion, and therefore I expect you to work together, or the funding will not be forthcoming. That's all I have to say for now, except to say that I've had apologies tonight from Terence, who cannot make it, and I've had apologies from Honor Crapper, who sadly has been called away with their house hunting. So we will go ahead with the meeting as planned, and we're going to start now. I'll hand you over to Annabelle Smart, your esteemed director, and she will tell you what's been decided with my blessing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shafton, for your words. I know that things have been a little difficult for our little group and our little family just lately, but I know that in order to get this production, we will all work together, and we're all happy to work, of course, with our co-group, the Brookfield Amateur Dramatic Society. So I know you will give them a very warm welcome. Now we have a few new faces in the group. And of course that does mean that I've had to make a teensy few changes to the casting, as you would understand, as we are now going to be collaborating on this. Although you must understand, we are aware, those of you who are in the Amdrams, that you are in rehearsals for Macbeth at the moment as well, so we will understand if you can't, if you need to make different arrangements.
Annabelle, can I just pause you there just for a second to greet Olwyn, who's now just come into the meeting.
Hi everyone, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm just letting people know that before we speak tonight, you announce your name, Olwyn Forthright, and then pause so that the video will pick you up. And the reason that you're here is to find out that you are now collaborating with the Amdrams on Midsummer Night's Dream, or the funding will not be forthcoming. Annabelle and I have done some hastily recasting, and she's just about to announce it now, so you haven't missed anything as such. Over to you, Annabelle.
Thank you very much, Simon. Now, as I was saying, we have a few teensy changes to the casting, and so I will begin by announcing some of our newest characters here. So we now have Mr. Alexander Snott. He will now be taking the role of Oberon.
Okay, what the fuck?
Go ahead, Alexander.
Why has my role been changed?
Your role hasn't been changed at all. We've given you the role of Oberon.
But what about James, though?
Yes, what about James?
It's okay. I don't mind. I'll just go with whatever anyone else wants. Not a problem.
No, James. You were doing so well. You cannot let go of this part.
Can we please just hear the ending of what Annabelle has to say? Alexander, you will find out that the role has been sort of created for you. Your role has not been changed. We've created a role, and a really good lead role for you in this. So just bear with us for a moment while Annabelle explains what we've done with the original casting to give this some structure, considering the new arrangements. Off you go, Annabelle.
Thank you. Oliver, Smelly, He will be taking the role of Snug, as I said. And we have Jemima Wigglesworth. I think, is she here?
Yes, I'm here. This is probably one of the reasons I didn't let you have the church hall. You can't organise anything.
Can we please just let Annabelle finish this, and then we can, you can feel free to argue this out, okay? And I know there are going to be some ill feeling in here, but let's let Annabelle say her piece, and then we will all come in together. Off you go.
We will if they will.
Good point, George. Please, for new people, bear in mind that you're in an established group, and that you're used to things your way. The Brookfield players are used to things their way. So if we could please just hear Annabelle out, and then we can take it from there. Please, no more interruptions, or I'll be forced to lock you out of the meeting. Off you go, Annabelle.
Thank you again. Wow, I rather thought I was being very generous, but there we go. Jemima will be playing the part of Starveling. Those of you who were in the last rehearsal will remember that we didn't yet have a Starveling, so this has come at an opportune time. And Millie Broadbottom, I think that's young Millie there in the corner, I can see, she will be taking the role of Hippolyta.
Is this some sort of joke?
Not at all, Olivia. According to my list, you have 2 parts, so we all have to share and share alike.
Excuse me, but why have a hamburger when you've got steak?
This is, again, not what I expected. Either you want to get this production done, you want something to perform after lockdown, or you want to fight amongst yourselves. However, I'm happy for either to happen, but I must insist that Annabelle is heard out. She's just going to go through this, and then you all have the chance to speak your minds, okay? That is fair enough and very democratic. Off you go, Annabelle, please.
Thank you very much again. I did warn you, Simon, didn't I? There are a few things that needed to be discussed. Oh, but I also see, now I did have the list of who was coming from the Brookfield Aftermath, and I see a face that I'm sorry, my dear, you do look familiar, but I'm not quite sure. Have we met at Glastonbury?
Oh, do you mean me? Oh, hi. My name's Violet Crumble. I'm from Sydney. I'm just over here to visit Brookfield. I've got like lots of things in life that I think about. Like, I don't know, like we're all born naked, but the rest is just drag. Cheers.
Your hair and your eyeshadow is amazing.
Oh, darling, thank you so much. Do you know, I think you remind me of a little Russian doll. Full of yourself.
You know what? I'll take that as a compliment.
Lucy. Lucy.
Violet and George now.
Can we get on with it now?
Sorry.
Can we get on with it now?
Thank you. I was just going to thank Lucy for bringing us back into line, Annabelle. Off you go again. Sorry.
I'm so glad that you're all getting on so well. I think that's wonderful. I think you'll be a lovely addition, my dear. I don't believe that you need to have a cast character for you, but bear with me a moment and I will think of something shortly. Let me see.
Thought about maybe, just maybe, casting Violet as Titania.
I think that would be a marvellous idea. You do have the look for Titania.
I'm losing my hair here. Come on, get on with it.
Can I ask, does Titania wear kitten heels? Because I could be down for what? I could be down for animal cruelty because I could kill a pair of kitten heels.
If you think I'm giving up the role that easily, you've got another thing coming. Okay.
Now, everybody, would you please settle down? We are just taking far too long this evening to get through what Annabelle has to tell us. So please be quiet, Annabelle.
Thank you very much, Rasheen. Yes, I think I wouldn't worry too much on Owen. The thing is, you did such an excellent job as Titania last week. I was thinking, how would you like to be Hermia instead? I took your criticisms last week, you see, about perhaps Wesley was perhaps not the first choice for everyone for Hermia.
Well, when you put it like that, I wouldn't want to disappoint you, Annabelle.
Hermia. More like a hernia.
Meow.
Yes, Queen.
So I just think it's nice to see you getting along now, but I would like to hear from more of the cast, please, and particularly some of the new people from the Amdrams to see how they feel they're going to fit in here. Off you go, Lucy, you were next.
I wouldn't expect this from my children at school. You're all behaving like children. Please stop. Let's get on with it.
Speaking of school, why don't we do a big drama thing where we introduce each other? We could start with all of the newbies and then we could go back to...
Oh, please, shh, everybody.
I actually think that is an excellent idea that Olwen's just come up with, because I'm seeing things fracture already. So we can start from wherever you want to start. Let's just introduce ourselves again and to say who we are in the play. Or if you're not sure who you are, because of the recasting, you can ask Annabelle again. So we'll start with the first person to shout out their name, and we'll
Jemima Wigglesworth. I'm not quite sure who I am or what I'm doing, but it seems very confusing to everybody. I don't understand. And where do you rehearse?
Apparently I'm Oberon. Well, ladies, you know, I'm a lover, not a fighter. So let's just love instead of fighting. Yeah.
Well, you were a lover the last time I saw you, Alexander.
You know. Need I say more?
Well, I may as well introduce myself. I am Caroline Gottlieb, and I am mustard seed, apparently, and I think this is a travesty.
You're also the choreographer, Caroline. Remember that for the fairies, and we need to see some more enthusiasm from you. There's no travesty in this. You need to work within the parameters of what you're given, I'm afraid.
Very well, but I find it hard to get excited about the choreography over Zoom. I mean, what do you want me to do? Stand up in the office, waving my arms, teaching you dance in front of a screen?
Do what we do when we get together.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, not again. Not on the Zoom call now.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant, you know, when we get together as a group.
Alexander, we all knew exactly what you meant.
You calm down. You're next.
Please, this is degenerating into something that I wasn't expecting. Can we please let's hear from the professional amongst us. Valentine night. Now, as you know, Valentine night went during the debacle at the end of the last meeting. However, in order for me to guarantee the funds, he has graciously agreed to come back. I hope, therefore...
Oh my God, you are joking! I can't believe it! I'm back here to change your mind!
Thank you, Kathleen. I'm so pleased that you are on board with this. Have you anything to say, Valentine?
It's just great to be back. You know, sounds like we're going to have a...
Oh my God, you're
Hi, Valentine. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Violet.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, out of 10, I'd give you one.
back off! He's mine!
It's always a pleasure to meet fans. I'm really looking forward to, you know, really getting our teeth into the project, you know, sorting out all the casting and...
Oh, I bet you are, you saucy little devil.
Oh, sorry, Lucy, to chalk over you again. This is getting us nowhere. I want, if we can just hold back for a minute, I just want to give Annabelle the chance to introduce the other new cast members, just so that you know who they are, because they're sitting there quietly. And just imagine that if positions were reversed and it was 4 or 5 of you going into their group, how uncomfortable you would feel, particularly with all this shenanigans going on. I'm trying to keep this on a professional footing. Annabelle, would you please introduce each of the characters each of the new actors and get them to introduce themselves, please, or to say hello.
Yes, of course, Simon. I'm very happy to. Now I notice. Oh dear. Is it Millie who's sitting there very quietly? I know you wanted to speak before, dear. Would you mind saying a few words? And how old are you, dear? We really should be watching our language, perhaps.
Hi, I'm Millie, and I would just like to say, now that all you oldies have been, a bit quieter, that I'm so excited to get on with our new project. And I'm currently 17 years old, so I'm still, a little baby, but old enough to understand all your jokes, so.
Oh my gosh, I was 17 when I was in my first big play too. Oh, it's so exciting.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
I'm surprised, Olwen, you can remember that far back.
Excuse me.
Please, can we just get through this? And then I'm interested to see what you all think of each other. And can we watch the sniping, please, ladies and gentlemen? We're not children. Can we go for the next one, please, Annabelle? That nice young man sitting with the headphones on.
It's Oliver, isn't it? I think that's your name. I think I've met your father, but
He can't hear you. He's got his headphones on.
I think you're on mute, dear. No, I can't hear you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. Off you go.
Okay. I'm Oliver. I'm 22.
He's a little bit shy. So
Oliver, perhaps you could tell us if what roles you've done in the past with any companies you've been with.
Okay. Well, it's hard to think back now.
I'm Macbeth at the moment, aren't you? With your own group. Who are you casting there? Actually, you must be Fleance, mustn't you? Are you Fleance, the son?
Yes, I must be. Yeah.
But the auguries were perfectly correct. You see, I do have that intuition still. Although I must admit, I am stress eating rather a lot. Maybe I should put these down. Let me think. Now, let us carry on with the cast list if we don't mind. I know that we've met Jemima briefly and Alexander. Now, you will notice that there were a few changes for, obviously, many of you have noticed them. Now, I know some of you were upset to see that I've given Alexander what was James' prize role. And James, you did do an excellent job last week. But I thought, considering our, well, the recent trouble, I thought you would make an absolutely excellent bottom instead. He has much more lines.
What?
Kathleen Green. Is it working?
James's bottom or the Zoom call?
Are you all still there?
Unfortunately.
Yes, Kathleen, we're still here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. Do I kiss him as well? Do I kiss him as well? Just don't want to. I only kiss.
I don't think you do kiss bottom. Actually, I think you'll find.
No, not bottom.
Oh, let me see. What did I cast you again as, Oliver? I'm afraid I'm getting very scattered with my notes.
This is rapidly.
Green. Hello.
Kathleen, just hang on for a second, please. Jemima's been trying to get in. Just while Annabelle looks up the role of Oliver, so we can see if you do kiss him. Although you're an actress, so really you should be happy to kiss anyone.
I will.
That's not helpful,
Kathleen
thank you,
Green.
George. Look,
That's really nice, but I don't want to kiss too many people because, no.
right, we'll come back to that. Jemima, please.
This is rapidly turning into a comedy of shades of grey, isn't it, really?
Wish.
Well, Jemima, if everybody wants to kiss everybody else, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen, but I'm sure I don't want to kiss anybody.
What's 50 Shades Grey?
This is Amdram, babe.
It's a Dulux colour chart. Don't worry about it, okay? Can we please get on?
Go and borrow my copy later, darling.
Please be quiet.
Oh, thank you, Lucy.
Now, why are you shouting? Come on, we can all just calm down, relax, and get on with it.
Alexander?
Ladies, if we all can be of ourselves, after this rehearsal, we'll all go out and have a quiet drink and discuss things. Is that okay?
No, thanks though.
Bold move to go for the hat trick.
George, you really aren't helping matters here. You know that, don't you? I mean, I appreciate your sense of humour
George,
and
yes, you
all.
are.
No, I think that was a very fair point of you, Millie. You know, I think maybe everybody's get very too much in their head. I'm concerned about the inhibitions. Now, this is a Shakespeare play, but it is the one that is set the most in the wilderness. So perhaps you wouldn't mind if I led you in a small exercise. So let's just clear the aura of the room before we carry on. What do we think?
Bloody hellfire, not this again.
What do you mean again?
I don't know. I've just landed from Sydney. I don't know what I was talking about, really.
I did meet you in Glastonbury, didn't I? Tell me, was it by the Chalice Well, where they had those quite unusual mushrooms?
Bloody hell, I can't bloody remember what's she on about now. I don't know.
Who is this RuPaul reject?
It's tonight there. Yeah, you look sexy in anything, especially a body bag.
Don't you dare take RuPaul's name in vain.
I didn't know RuPaul was in this. When did that happen?
I thought RuPaul Drag Race was about cars.
Could we please get on with things?
Honey.
I'm interested now to hear from James Pry, for example, to hear more from Caroline, and the people who've kind of been rather quiet on this. My concern, above all else, is that everything's fracturing and you're not going to have a full cast. So I really need to hear from James.
It's not only the cast, you know. If we're combining with the other bloody Amdram group, we don't need two stage managers, do we?
So what do you mean, bloody Amdram group?
Where's Betty Smythe? I can't see her on my screen. Is she there? Betty, are you there? Betty Smythe, is she there? Or is she muted?
Betty, if you can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
No, I'm afraid not, Betty. There's something wrong with your sound again. It doesn't say you're on mute. Oh.
No, I know.
Oh, I heard you then.
Oh. Betty, I just need to ask
now
you.
You've gone. I don't know.
And Betty, if you can hear me, I just need to know that you are happy to be involved with the other group in this collaboration process, that you are this company's secretary, and therefore I would expect you to do the same job for the collaboration. And the same goes for you, Roisin, I have to say that you really need to accept the inevitable and to work with costumes across the board. Nothing has changed in terms of the production you're doing. Nothing has changed in terms of the size of the cast, although we have more fairies than we had last week. But we really need, to know that you're on board with this, Roisin. You and I've forgotten the lady's name who's just taken issue with being called amateur. You and the new lady have kind of been pretty antagonistic from the start of this evening, I have to say.
I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Nor do I. We're actually best friends, really, you know. That's why we talk to each other like that.
That's very true, Roisin.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are we meeting for coffee tomorrow?
We certainly are.
Okay, can we hear from James Pry, please? You have lost a really good part here. How do you feel about it? Are you happy to take a lesser part, James?
I'm okay doing anything you want me to do. I'll just make sure I do that bottom character really well. But as long as you're all happy, I'll be happy with anything.
I think you will be a wonderful bottom, James.
So much better than David would have been.
Can't sink any lower.
But where is David? Has anyone?
I think that perhaps he elected not to come back to us, I believe.
I think we're glad to see the back of him, I think.
But he had a little shout at us at the end of the last week's rehearsal. But I think it's because no one let him speak. So I think if we maybe let him speak one day, but I don't know. I don't want to take his part if he doesn't even know about it.
Can I just say that I noticed that early on. I mean, I didn't stay along for the rehearsal much. I was, it'd been a long day, but I did notice that he was constantly being spoken over and ignored, frankly. So that when I did come back on at the end and he was attacking you all, I really think his choice of words were rather, well, let's just say that the words that I wouldn't have chosen, but there was some justification in the way he was so upset, because it was like he was ignored. It's like Wesley. Wesley, I sort of like, I thought he was rather passed over last week. I think what I'm seeing in this group at the moment is kind of, if you like, sort of in a clique from some of you who were banding together against David and Wesley to an extent. I did remember sort of somebody saying that Wesley smelled of formaldehyde and various other things.
Do we really need to dwell on such things? I mean, we're all having a fresh start now, and I really don't think that there should be any cliques of any kind. I think if we just have a few calming breaths, and then we'll be ready to come at this with a brand new approach, won't we?
I don't want to take calming breaths. I want to find out what we're all going to do, when we're all going to do it, and why we're all going to do it. And can we get on with it, please?
Yes, I do have one question about the casting, if I may. I'm still not sure who's playing Lysander, my kind of dramatic rival, if you will.
Well, I think it was, let me see, it was originally Honor, wasn't it? But we did have a little chat about that, didn't we? And I was considering whether Caroline whether you would like the role instead, and maybe you could swap.
Well, I would be honoured. I'm very grateful that you would think of me.
Ollie, we've swapped many times, so I can't see a problem with that.
A couple of things, Annabelle. When did you tell Honor, who couldn't make it tonight, about that she'd lost her part to somebody else? And the reason I'm asking that is I've just got a rather strong text from her on my phone to say to tell you all that she is not happy, and that if she were here, she would tell you that to her face, and she is certainly not happy with Caroline Gottlieb, and that she intends to take this further. Quite who she will take it to, I don't know, seeing as you as the director have the final say, Annabelle, but I just wanted to let you know that there is trouble afoot from Honor Crapper.
Is it going to be like this every week, or is it just this week?
Or is it? Violet Crumble, I've heard it always is.
Well, this is just not getting anybody anywhere. So I don't see the point in everybody squabbling. Somebody do something positive.
I'm trying to keep control of this meeting as chairman, and people keep sort of interrupting each other.
You're not doing a very good job, are you?
That is a matter of opinion. You can only, a sheepdog is only as good as the sheep it's rounding up.
Meow.
Oh my, it's like living carry-on drama.
Well, it looks to me like you're rounding up a load of old mutton.
Tex wants to know one, darling.
Sleep
Kathleen
with
Green.
George. Mutton.
Ladies, ladies, ladies. I'm the shepherd here, and I pick the sheep.
Alexandra Snott, can I just say that quite what you think you're doing, because quite frankly, from the rant of David last week, which I heard toward the end, you have gone through the Brookfield players like a dose of salts. The smooth act you're putting on may work with the ladies, but it certainly won't work with the funders. So can I ask you to refrain from being so, what's the word I would like to use? Smarmy maybe? And get with the program.
Lecherous would be a better word.
Spell lecherous. Look, the ladies came to me. I didn't go to the ladies. That's just the way it is. This
Can we
jam for
reconsider our casting? I don't feel comfortable or safe.
Do we have to spell all the things in this play? Because I can't.
No, ignore that. He was being facetious, Kathleen. Don't worry. And don't try and spell facetious either. Can I just say once more that Alexandra Snott, you are not LL Cool J, okay? Can we just remember that we are all, or that you are all, in amateur dramatics, no matter how professional you think you are. No one is getting paid in this production, and you're wasting the time of what can only be described as, of who can only be described as one of England's most promising up and coming actors with Valentine Smart. And I think we need to bear in mind that Valentine is having to work with you all. So can we show him some consideration too, please?
That's really quite all right, Simon. It's, you know, it's a new group. It's different people coming together. You know, these things can often get quite boisterous, shall we say, in the first few sessions. You know, it's a normal part of any show I've worked on.
I've seen his type before. Comes in all smarmy, like a knight in a shining armor. Yeah.
Do you think you are? Shut up.
Don't trust him. I don't trust him.
Simon
I appreciate the play on my name, though. Thank you for that.
Can I just let you all know something that you might not be thinking of here? And that is that Valentine has so many contacts in the industry that he could put in words for all of you. He could even run to his friends at the press. Remember, he is friends with the editor of the local paper. If you really want a scandal, I suggest you keep doing what you're doing. But I need to turn now, I think, to Violet Crumble. You do look familiar, Violet, and I've been around many theatre groups with funding in this area, and yet I don't remember seeing you in any of them, but I know your face. I just know your face.
Well, well, my face has been on many publications in Australia. Maybe you've seen something like on the internet or something like that.
I think it's probably been on a wanted poster somewhere, hasn't it?
What keeps happening to your accent?
Lucy. Lucy.
Go ahead, Lucy.
Why have you got the same laugh as David?
Oh, I think Betty has something. Oh, no, she's disappeared. Oh dear.
You know the purple hair person? Purple hair person, is that your real hair?
No, darling. This is a wig that I picked up in King's Cross down in the old part of Sydney. Nice though, isn't it?
Kathleen, I think it's best to let people think you're stupid then, rather than open your mouth and remove all doubt.
I knew you didn't like me. You're so snotty, it's unreal. Just shut up. Shut up.
Is Betty Smythe's mic working yet? I think I need to hear from Betty.
I'm afraid she seems to have had to nip out. I think she had some sort of connection issue.
Okay.
I think she's gone for another top up on her mug.
Probably. She never bloody stops, that one.
She's probably gone to join another company.
Don't blame her.
Excuse me, Violet, but how would you know what she does?
Probably just gone to fill a mug up.
How come he's not answering our questions?
Right then, bugger you. Yeah, it's me. It's David.
I knew it.
Well.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, I couldn't do two, could I? I wanted to be in Brookfield bloody Players, but I couldn't.
You've been in Benidorm?
Have I been in Benidorm? I wish I bloody was.
David, I must say, I'm impressed with your acting. I think with enthusiasm, I did believe you for a long time.
Caroline, shut up. Do you know,
Well,
you're that full of
that
crap.
is the last time I tried to compliment.
Well, listen to you with your fake compliments. Honestly, you're that full of crap. The toilet's jealous.
Well, he's the only damned actor I've seen here tonight.
And yet he came crawling back to our group, didn't he?
No, more like come and see what the bloody hell you're up to, you lying toe rags.
Can we please just get some structure here? James has been trying to get in to say something. James, go ahead.
David,
what?
Do you want to play bottom? Because I'm not bothered really if you want to play him still.
Do I want to take your bottom off you? Do I, buggery?
But I was only asking because I
You'd like nothing better, would you? You with your sequins and your sewing with your mother. You make me sick. A lot of you do.
James, you may as well do it. Bit cheeky like, but playing bottom's okay.
Nose out of it, snot. This is internal business.
Aye, aye.
That's what he's used to, internal business, isn't it?
Can we calm down? You're being inappropriate. And I have to say, can I just ask once more? I've just let Betty back into the meeting. Can we hear her now? Betty, can you hear me?
Betty Smythe.
Okay, right. I need to ask you a question before I go back to the rabble that you represent. Betty, I can hear you.
Betty Smythe.
Yeah, don't keep saying Betty Smythe. As soon as you say it, we can see you. You just can't see yourself. Okay?
Right. What happened to his hair?
That is actually, Violet Crumble was actually David in disguise. David's back.
Oh, it's funny that she's asking that question. What happened to my hair? Obviously, no bloody mirrors or lights in her house.
Betty, I just need to know, are you willing to work with this collaboration as secretary? I need somebody reliable who can keep all the notes and everything in order. We'll let Rasheen carry on with the budget, but are you willing to do all the notes, the scripts, etc., that you do normally?
Yes, I will, if it doesn't turn pornographic. That's what it sounds like.
I knew this was something weird. Just want to do a proper play. A really nice play, please.
Well, if you look at the themes of the play, it's actually all about the joys of premarital sex, but I'm sure we'll go deeper into that when Annabelle goes through the whole spiel.
Did you say premarital sex? Yeah,
yes, I did. Shakespeare loved it.
I could help you there. That's my field.
George Grayling, you go first. Everyone's trying to get in on that.
I honestly can't remember what I was going to say. It left because I laughed.
That's fine. Jemima, off you go.
We're back to the old thing again, aren't we? You know, shades of grey. What is going on? Are we going to do a play or are we not going to do a play? And is it going to be Shakespeare or not?
If everyone could just be quiet for a minute, let me say that I'm rather disappointed with the way this evening's gone, and I'm a bit disappointed because Alexander Snott came with so much praise and I'm not seeing it, Alexander. I have to say, your behaviour is rather yes, but also, of course, can I just say that everybody seems to have dismissed everything that David said last week. Now I know that David was acting out of anger last week, and I've also bigged him up as an actor
Sorry,
today.
can I just...
Go ahead, David.
Doesn't matter now, the moment's gone.
Right. I wanted to say that we all know that David acted out of anger last week, but much of what he said, I am now seeing is actually true. He's actually quite perceptive. That, George, you do sometimes behave like a cheapened version of Julian Clary, I'm afraid. Your innuendos and that laugh from Rosaline, every time you say something, it's almost like you come as a double act. And then...
I'm sorry, Mr. Shafton, but I must disagree. There is no room in this group for temper or bad mouthing, and I'm sorry, but you come in here, and I know you need your money, but quite frankly, you can't offend my cast like this. They are my family, and we are all together in this, and I think I am all together with them in saying that you can get your money. Thank you very much. Screw the corporations who perform it on the field like Shakespeare did when he travelled. What do you think, everybody?
About bloody time. She's got a backbone. Round of applause.
Absolutely, Annabelle.
I will also say, in Rosalind's defence, she didn't laugh when you said innuendo, Simon.
Innuendo.
Oh my God. Do you realise what you just said? Bloody good one, George. Shakespeare's all bloody innuendo.
I stand corrected.
Can I just say that you've just proved my point, and quite apart from bad-mouthing your company, Annabelle, I have actually given a lot of my time and my support behind the scenes to get you this funding. But it seems that you want to be something that you're not, frankly. And I really don't think you're ready for a production of this magnitude. I can only apologise to the Brookfield Amdrams, with the exception of Alexandra Snott. I can only apologise to them, to Oliver there, to Millie. I'm rubbish with names, but I can apologise to the group, the 4 or 5 members who've come in on my recommendation, only to find themselves...
Have I been victimised here?
I have.
Sorry, Alwyn, say that again, please.
Apologise to Valentine. My apologies, Valentine.
So, sorry, what?
Apologising to him, you should be apologising to all the women for sexualising them when they are not asking for it.
Yes.
Who said? Okay, I apologise.
That's so hard, thank you.
Didn't sound very sincere.
Take the apology with the respect that it was meant. You're just prolonging the agony by coming back all the time. Thank you, Alexander. Can I just remind you that there are protocols and safeguarding in groups like this that we need to adhere to. You might not mean anything by it, but in this day and age, we have to be very careful. Well, we have to be very careful all the time, but particularly in this day and age, in the days of wokeness and political correctness.
Fuck off,
Shafton. If you can hear the buzzing, that's my tea. Bye.
Simon, goodbye,
Well,
Alexander. And sorry, Annabelle, sorry, I'm not going to let that go. David, how dare you? How dare you? I came in here with good faith with £10,000. Well, you're just going to have to sing for the money, because there's no way I'm going to give any funding to a group like this who behave like this.
Olivia, you don't have to like us, Simon. Not everyone has good taste.
Well done, Olivia.
We don't need you.
Bye. I've got some money.
Oh, that sounds like a good opportunity to make some more, maybe.
Well, I think it is.
Well, Miss Wigglesworth, welcome on board.
Oh, yes, certainly, Jemima. That would be wonderful. And Millie and Oliver, I do hope to stay once we get rid of this, this governmental yes man, you'll find that we're actually good fun altogether.
I'm sure you are. I look forward to it.
Who's in charge of kicking people out of this call? Because I say we just cut out the middleman.
Before you do, I just want to make the point, if the Amdrams, other than the lady with the money, if the Amdrams
You mean
would like to...
Jemima Wiggles worth a lot of money?
May I just finish and I will leave this call? I want to just make the point that if Valentine would like to come with me, with Oliver, and with little Millie, is it? Little Millie. If you would like to come with me, I will offer the 10,000 to the Brookfield Amdrams. Make sure you get a good part in that, and we'll take it onto the Royal Court in Liverpool instead of the community hall down the road, which is where you're going to be doing this. Would you like to join us, please, Valentine? And let's go.
Can I come too? Because I really, Valentine and I have got like a lot of things to talk about.
You would leave us for the money. We have been a company for years, and you would just walk out at the tiniest sprinkle of breadcrumbs. I can't believe you.
Valentine, can I ask you to stay with us then?
Valentine, can I ask you to save yourself, and let's take this to a major theatre in the city centre.
Valentine, I just think that you should do whatever you think will make you happiest. Ignore the money, ignore the Kathleen of it. Just what do you think would be best for you, Valentine?
I must say I'm quite confused at the moment. I'm not sure what show would you be referring to, Mr. Shafton?
I'm talking about trying to make sure that you get the lead in Macbeth with the Amdrams, or the part of Macduff with the Amdrams, because it's clear that David hasn't earned it, because he's back here now with this group. And let's take it to a bigger stage. Let's leave the small provincial company here to themselves, and let's go bigger. What do you say?
That sounds like community spirit.
Well,
you asked for it.
I will say that I was first contacted by Annabelle and brought onto the production for Midsummer Night's Dream, so I would technically have a scheduling conflict there. I mean, you're free to discuss with my agent. I'm not.
Oh, I knew you wouldn't disappoint us, Val.
Oh my God, you're the dreamiest person on this whole planet. He recognises talent when he sees it.
Oh, we love you, Valentine.
I should like to say something. I find this an easy decision for you, Mr. Valentine, and you do what you think is best, but you could get a leading part in any Shakespeare, you could get it to the RSC, but this is an opportunity to really influence the community. I mean, we are all a family, we argue like family, but there is no love lost at the end of the day.
If I can just say this and then I'm leaving, and we put an end to this, and that is that how can you say that you're doing something extra special for the community when you can't even, because of your behaviour, secure a measly 10,000 community grant? Because quite frankly, I find you as a company and as a group and as a set of individuals quite unfundable. Good day.
Well, Mr. Shafton, I think you are missing the point. We do not do this for the money. These people here, instead of spending a night on our own, we are spending a night with friends in a very difficult time. I do not care where we take this show, what our budget is. Even if an older lady, have to do stick choreography, it will be a fantastic show at the end of the day, even if we almost kill each other to get it done.
And what you don't know, Mr. Shafton, is that when we get on stage together, it is just magic. And that's something that you haven't been able to see so far, because we are all stuck behind our screens and we're all frustrated. And yes, we take it out on each other, but that's because we're family. And that's what families do. They bicker.
Caroline. We can prove this by the fact that we have not kicked David out. David said some very harsh things, but none of them untrue. He is part of the family and he deserved to vent.
George Graylin.
Go ahead, George.
George Grayling. I actually quite like Julian Clary as well, so thank you very much, David.
Right, Simon, I go ahead.
Right, Mr. Shafton, I'm sure we can sort this out between the both of us. If we can both put some money in, we may have a really, really good show.
I will need to go and sleep on this, but I will tell you this, that your hypocrisy really rather astounds me. We saw Alexander Snott, quite rightly so, being sent away with a flea in his ear because of the way he was sexualizing the females in the group, and we all know how wrong that is. However, what I hear is that most of you have slept with each other, and that you go on about this, and we all know it's true, Olwen. We heard about you in the cupboard with Wesley. Was it Wesley? So the point is, you cannot.
Owen, that was not me.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was Olivia, wasn't it? I do apologize, but you cannot then be that two-faced and hypocritical with other people. And what's that saying to?
Caroline, some things you miss is that we do not mind people sleeping with each other. We do not mind us swearing at each other. We do not mind using foul language in front of younger members of the group. But one thing we cannot stand is a funder who is up himself.
Olivia, David was allowed to say all that last week because he's one of us. You, sir, are not.
George Grayling. It's all right when it's one of our lot, but when it comes to you, you just come in here. You're just trying to offer your funding out, but you know what? We don't need it. We've got our good friend Jemima now, and we don't need your funding. So, bye.
Before I go, I just have to say,
You brought us together, so thank you.
well, Annabelle came to me, so just be careful who you go to in future, because the next person will not be as mannered and as polite as I have been. Good day, everybody.
Someone has clearly never worked in show business. We're a family, and we've got to pull through this together. We don't need nonsense like him.
Do you know what? I know I shouted last week, but I love you all. You're like me proper family.
Daft cow.
Do you know what I've just noticed? He didn't really get Shakespeare because it's not a hypocrite. It's Hippolyte.
Oh, Kathleen.
Oh, dear.